Section 550.14h of the National Electrical Code addresses wiring methods beneath mobile homes. This section specifically applies to mobile homes that have skirting or similar enclosures around the lower half. The primary concern addressed by 550.14h is the protection of wiring from physical damage. When NM cable, also known as non-metallic sheath cable, is installed under a mobile home, it is subject to potential damage from various sources. These sources can include rodents, weather conditions, and physical impact. Given these potential hazards, the code mandates that NM cable must be adequately protected. There are two primary methods to achieve this protection. The first method involves encasing the NM cable within a conduit. Conduit provides a rigid protective barrier against physical damage. Acceptable types of conduit for this application typically include rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, or rigid non-metallic conduit such as PVC. The specific type of conduit used should be suitable for the environmental conditions to which it will be exposed. For example, if the undercarriage of the mobile home is subject to significant moisture, corrosion-resistant conduit should be selected. The installation of conduit must adhere to all applicable requirements outlined in Chapter 3 of the National Electrical Code. This includes proper support, secure connections, and appropriate fittings. The conduit must extend from the point where the NM cable exits the interior of the mobile home to the point where it enters an approved junction box or other enclosure. The second method for protecting NM cable under a mobile home involves burying the cable at a minimum depth of 18 inches. This method is typically used when the cable is run underground for a portion of its length. When burying NM cable, it is essential to comply with all applicable requirements outlined in Article 300 of the National Electrical Code, which covers underground installations. Firstly, the cable must be listed for direct burial. Not all NM cable is suitable for direct burial applications. Direct burial cable is specifically designed to withstand the harsh conditions associated with underground installations, including moisture, temperature fluctuations, and physical stress. Secondly, the cable must be buried at a minimum depth of 18 inches. This depth provides adequate protection from physical damage, such as that caused by digging or other activities. Thirdly, the cable must be installed in a trench that is free of rocks, debris, and other sharp objects that could damage the cable. The trench should be backfilled with clean earth. Fourthly, the cable must be marked with a warning ribbon or other suitable means to indicate the presence of an underground electrical cable. This helps to prevent accidental damage during future digging or excavation activities. In addition to the requirements outlined in 550.14h, it is important to consider other relevant sections of the National Electrical Code when wiring a mobile home. These sections include Article 550, which covers mobile and manufactured homes, and Article 310, which covers conductors for general wiring. Firstly, all wiring must be performed in accordance with the National Electrical Code and any applicable local codes. Secondly, all electrical work must be performed by a qualified electrician. Thirdly, all materials used must be listed and approved for their intended use. Fourthly, all connections must be made in approved junction boxes or enclosures. Fifthly, all wiring must be properly supported and secured. Sixthly, all circuits must be properly grounded and bonded. Seventhly, all overcurrent protection devices must be properly sized and installed. Eighthly, all wiring must be protected from physical damage. Ninthly, all work must be inspected and approved by a qualified electrical inspector. It is important to understand the specific requirements of 550.14h when dealing with mobile homes that have skirting. The presence of skirting creates an enclosed space beneath the mobile home, which can trap moisture and provide a habitat for rodents. This increases the risk of damage to NM cable and other wiring. When determining whether to use conduit or bury the cable, consider the specific conditions at the installation site. If the undercarriage of the mobile home is subject to significant moisture or physical damage, conduit may be the preferred option. If the cable is being run underground for a portion of its length, burying the cable at a minimum depth of 18 inches may be more practical. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the wiring is installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Improperly installed wiring can create a safety hazard and may not be compliant with the National Electrical Code. When selecting conduit for protecting NM cable under a mobile home, several factors should be considered. Firstly, the type of material. Conduit is available in various materials, including metal and non-metal. Metal conduit offers excellent physical protection, but may be susceptible to corrosion in damp environments. Non-metal conduit is resistant to corrosion, but may not provide the same level of physical protection as metal conduit. Secondly, the size of the conduit. The conduit must be large enough to accommodate the NM cable without overcrowding. Overcrowding can make it difficult to pull the cable through the conduit and can also damage the cable insulation. Thirdly, the type of fittings. The fittings used to connect the conduit must be compatible with the type of conduit being used. Fittings must also be watertight to prevent moisture from entering the conduit. When burying NM cable under a mobile home, it is important to take precautions to prevent damage to the cable. Firstly, the trench should be dug deep enough to provide at least 18 inches of cover over the cable. Secondly, the trench should be free of rocks, debris, and other sharp objects that could damage the cable. Thirdly, the cable should be bedded in sand or other suitable material to protect it from abrasion. Fourthly, the cable should be marked with a warning ribbon or other suitable means to indicate the presence of an underground electrical cable. Fifthly, the trench should be backfilled with clean earth. Maintaining compliance with 550.14H ensures the safety and longevity of the electrical system in a mobile home. Understanding the requirements for protecting NM cable helps to prevent electrical hazards and ensures that the wiring is installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code. It is always recommended to consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work, especially when dealing with mobile homes or other specialized applications. The qualified electrician can assess the specific conditions at the installation site and determine the most appropriate wiring method. They can also ensure that the wiring is installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. This will help to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. When working with electrical systems, it is crucial to prioritize safety. Always disconnect the power before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards that governs the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest edition of the National Electrical Code to ensure that your electrical work is compliant. The National Electrical Code is available for purchase from various sources, including the National Fire Protection Association and online retailers. Many local libraries also have copies of the National Electrical Code available for reference. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to electrical work in your area. It is important to check with your local building department to determine if there are any additional requirements. The local building department can also provide information on permitting and inspection requirements. Obtaining the necessary permits and inspections is essential for ensuring that your electrical work is compliant and safe. Failure to obtain the necessary permits and inspections can result in fines and other penalties. It is also important to keep accurate records of all electrical work that is performed. This includes documentation of the materials used, the wiring methods employed, and the results of any inspections. These records can be helpful in the event of future problems or when selling the property. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By following the requirements of the National Electrical Code and taking appropriate safety precautions, we can help to prevent electrical hazards and ensure the safety of our homes and communities.